Just trying to survive and learn to love along the way. By Foreplay on AO3. Episode 127. Chapter 127. Of reunions and a final. Izuku doesn't allow the silence to last long once their group is united. Do you still have your calm? He directs the question to Yaozu. Yeah, but I don't think it'll help much. Sensei said it wouldn't work far, and I don't know if anyone's close enough to contact. But that's because we were underground, right? We might be able to go through to somebody now. Toshi speaks up before Izuku gets a chance to. Yaozu wordlessly hands it over to Izuku, and he fits it in his ear. He fiddles with it a little, garnering mostly static, but one channel sounds somewhat clear, so he gives it a shot. This is Janus. Does anybody copy? Izuku, that you? Midnight Sensei. Thank God! Where are you? Her voice sounds muffled, but he can make out her words well enough. Izuku moves closer to the window to try and improve the reception. We're in the school. Everyone's a little banged up, and Recovery Girl's unconscious, but we're okay. Copy that. Can you make your way to the first floor? Close to the entrance. I'm on my way to you now. Got it. See you soon. Izuku turns away from the window and finds the rest of the group watching him. We've got to get back to the entrance. Anyone remember which way we came from? Everyone shakes their head. There were too many turns to keep track of. Toshi's the only one to speak up. Well, maybe if we're not splitting up again. Izuku interrupts Uraraka with his assumption of what she was saying. Her mouth shuts close, and his theory is confirmed. Let's just try to find somewhere familiar and go from there. Izuku bends down as he speaks, picking up Recovery Girl with a little too much effort. It looks like things are finally going their way as they make their way through the school. It doesn't take long to find the teacher's lounge, and from there, it's easy to make their way to the first doors. They stop just around the corner to wait for Midnight. She gets there fairly quickly, accompanied by Snipe Sensei. Izuku hurries to greet them, and is surprised when Midnight pulls him into a tight hug. You okay? Where are the others? Izuku nods and gestures behind him to where the others are rounding the corner. Midnight smiles in relief, but the look is quickly replaced with a tense one. We have to hurry. Shigaraki was pretty close behind. But last Izuku saw, the villain was fighting. Don't worry, your dad's okay. Get back. It's the first Sensei has spoken since their arrival. They move just in time to avoid the explosion that breaks apart the front doors. Kids, cover your noses! Midnight barely gives them time to react before she's pulling back part of her costume to use her quirk. Izuku fumbles with his shirt to try and cover his face. The others are doing the same, all except for Yaozu. She's too busy pulling a gas mask out of her leg. She shoves the first one over her face, then gets to work on a second, swaying slightly where she stands. This night has taken a lot out of everyone. The second mask is shoved at Izuku, but Yaozu sinks to the floor in exhaustion before she can make any others. He slips it on just in time, as the rest of his friends start collapsing from inhaling their teacher's quirk. Izuku looks to the wreckage at the front doors, and nearly cries when he sees Shigaraki scrolling through them, completely unharmed. He's wearing a mask, like the one on Izuku's face. Shigaraki completely ignores Snipe, dodging every single shot the hero takes. The villain's gaze is set on one thing: Midnight. He approaches the heroine, and her whip does absolutely nothing to keep him back. He uses his quirk to destroy it, and closes in on her, hands reaching for her face. There's no way Izuku can let that happen. Midnight! Izuku screams, fogs up the mask, but he can manage to shove his sensei out of the way. Shigaraki's hands make contact with Izuku's mask instead, and it crumbles, rapidly exposing him to Midnight's quirk. He does his best to hold his breath and brace himself, but the sound of gunshots shock him into inhaling. Shigaraki's hand is frozen, mere centimeters from his face. Izuku looks down at the same time the villain does, and finds a growing spot of blood right where the man's heart should be. Shigaraki tumbles forward, and onto Izuku. knocking him over as he tries to stay awake. He cringes as the villain's hands come full contact with Izuku's arm. But nothing happens. Izuku looks up and around, but there's no sign of his dad anywhere, which can only mean one thing. Shigaraki is dead. Izuku wakes up to the all-too-familiar sound of beeping. He doesn't have to open his eyes to know that he's in the hospital. Under the obnoxiously loud beeping, he could hear several voices and conversations. It's not just the low sounds of his dad's voices either. Mixed in there are familiar tones of some of his classmates as well. Despite wanting a little bit of peace after waking up, Izuku opens his eyes. Nobody notices, so he takes a minute to observe his room and the people in it. He's definitely in one of the cushier rooms in the hero ward. It's decently big in size, leaving enough space for a table and chairs, his bed, and a comfortable-looking couch. On said couch sits Kacchan and Kirishima, bandaged up with small smiles on their faces. The table is occupied by Toshi, Shouta, and Midnight, playing a competitive-looking game of cards. Izuku's dad sat on either side of him, holding a hand and speaking in a whisper over him. Just as he's about to interrupt their quiet conversation, the door opens, and all heads turn toward Hawks as he enters the room, carrying a tray of drinks. "Izuku, you're awake!" The number one hero is the first to notice him, and his announcements makes everyone turn to Izuku as well. He gives them a sheepish smile when they all cry out in joy. Seats are abandoned as everyone crowds around his bed. Even Kacchan comes up, though he looks reluctant to do so. "Izuku, we're so glad you're okay." Izuku gives his boyfriend a soft smile at his comment, before looking at everyone else in turn. "What about you guys? You weren't much better off than I was." "They woke up a little while ago. They're all the problem children rushed here to check up on you." His dad speaks up for his classmates. "What about Mirako? Is she okay?" Hawks gives him a smile, though it looks slightly strained. "She's alive. Doesn't even seem upset about losing an arm." Everyone looks a little more solemn at the answer, so Izuku does his best to change the subject. "And everyone else? They're okay. What about the school?" "The other students are fine. Most of the dorm buildings got destroyed, but the school building seems to be okay." "The dorms are gone? What's gonna happen to everyone now?" His classmates don't look too worried about it, though Shouta and Kirishima look a little awkward. "We'll still have school, but everybody gets to go home now, and unless there's some big danger appears, there's no reason to rebuild the dorms. You kids should be safe." Everyone looks relieved at that. Izuku's sure he looks the same. They've been in danger from the League for so long. It's a huge relief to have the villains off their backs. Izuku's not sure he remembers what it feels like to be safe like that, but a few weeks at home should do the trick. "Is it weird that I'm excited to go back to class?" His dad gives him the soft smile before responding. "After everything that happened? Not at all." The knock on the door comes in perfect timing for once, occurring at the end of the conversation. "Mr. Eraserhead, I have your son's discharge form here." His dad lets go of his hand to get to the nurse. A few signatures later, and he's back to Izuku and the group around his bed. "Well then, let's go home." Yep, I'm gonna read the end notes. God, I don't know what to say here. This is the end, I guess, at least of this story. There's a sequel coming, so keep your eye out. I also have about a million other story ideas, lol. Seriously though, thank you guys. I've never expected this much interaction with my writing, let alone this much support. I couldn't have asked for better readers. Your words of encouragement have left me in tears on more than one occasion. They're good tears, I promise. Sometimes if I'm feeling particularly overwhelmed or upset, I look back over some of my favorite comments from you guys, and they really help me get better. Help me feel better. I don't know if I would have gotten this far without you guys. So thank you for keeping me inspired and encouraging me through this long journey. Anyways, I'll see you in the sequel. Lots of love. Heart. Alright, works inspired by this one. watching, just trying to survive and learn. Oh, there's a work inspired? It's by an orphan account? Hold up. And it's not finished, so it's abandoned. Okay, the next one in the Trying series is Just Trying to Understand by Foreplay on AO3. Summary. Aizawa Shouta just wants to go home and nap. His plans are completely ruined when he runs into All Might outside of his problem child's hospital room. No matter, he's got a few things to say to the #1 hero. Oh, this is a one-shot. Hey, I'm finally posting a one-shot. This is set after chapter 6 of my main fic, so spoilers. We've got some yelling and many swear words. Also some All Might bashing. Enjoy. And then the next would be Just Trying to Survive the Editing Process. Izuku and Shouta are in the middle of a serious talk when Hizashi returns home, affected by a quirk. How will this change their family? This is 3 chapters long, but it's still a short one-shot. Here, I'll just go into the big thingy. One shot, another one shot. Izuku knows, just trying to survive the pain. Rain, go away. Izuku knows there's something wrong when he wakes up, but decides to push through it anyways, which is a mistake. Just trying to stay on task. Hitoshi's not impressed that he has the same internship as Uraraka. It does not help that she wants to be friends or something. One shot. Just trying to stay lucid. Denki has a lot to think about after the disaster that was the training camp. He has even more after his teacher pays him a visit. One shot. Just trying to become a family. Not a one shot. Sequel. The disaster at UA is over, so Izuku can finally return home with his new brothers. Things go way beyond his expectations. But what did he expect? An easy time with fellow classmates of Class 1A? What a joke. Or, Izuku deals with having brothers for the first time, and his dad realized they completely underestimated having 3 teenagers in one house. Yeah, the next one is the one I'm excited for. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I get approved. Most likely, tomorrow I have to record the next one. I'm pushing it as much as I can in the sense of I'm not recording extra episodes, but something tells me we're not going to make it to the mark. So, yeah, something tells me we're not going to make the mark, right? At least for the, well, who knows? Technically speaking, well, they have one more day to respond to me so I don't record extra videos in vain. They actually have till the 24th. So very well may be that the next chapter is one of the trying ones. So just trying to become a family. I'm probably gonna go into just trying to become a family and then do the one-shots. But yeah, just trying to become a family is the one that I'm probably gonna go into, and I might do the one-shots. I'm not 100% sure. I do want to do the one-shots, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But just trying to become a family is one that I'm definitely gonna go into and read. So they have until the 24th, and it's the 19th. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days. 5 days. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. It became really complicated the last time, because if I do that, I'm gonna be like 5 days ahead of everything else, maybe even 6, 7, 8 days ahead. Like, I'm probably gonna be a week ahead by that time, because I want to get ahead as much as I can. So by that time that hits, I'm gonna be a week ahead, and I'm not gonna have it where one of them is not a week ahead. That's gonna be awkward. That's gonna be weird. That's gonna, yeah, no. Tomorrow you're most likely gonna get a one-shot. The one-shot that you're most likely gonna get is, hold up, I'm gonna pick a one-shot. I'm gonna pick a Shindeku one-shot. I'm gonna pick Shindeku one-shots till we get, what's it called? Till we get that. So, you're either gonna get, hold on. I'm trying to see, I'm trying to choose which ones. Did it log me out? What? It logged me out of this one. What the fuck? Can't remember me. Log in. Oh, right. AO3 is having a login thingy. I thought they fixed that. Oh well. That's my bad. I assumed. I shouldn't have assumed. Assumed. Assumed? Assumed. Whatever. I like this series a lot. This series was super nice. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sad to have it go. But, hopefully it comes back soon. Right, hopefully, fingers crossed it comes back soon. crossing my fingers and hoping. Crossing and hoping. So, the first one that's gonna come is Monochrome Situation by Dream Towns. Summary. For 15 years of his life, green had been a source of safety and comfort. It was the color of grass, soft and dewy beneath his fingers in the early morning. It was a taste of apples, sour and sweet on his tongue. It was a soft chirp of a grasshopper, late at night when quiet was all the world knew. It was the only color he could see. The variant of his soulmate's eyes. I know that's not, it's supposed to be green, of his soulmate's eyes. Interesting. I love this. You know, we have some of the additional tags, I'll say them all. Alternative Universe, Canon Divergent, Soulmate AU, Soulmate Identifying Marks, Fluff, Hurt Comfort, Mild Language. We have Shindeku, and then we have some minor background relationships. But Shindeku is the main one. Shindeku with the main characters being Izuku Midoriya, Shinsou Hitoshi, Class 1C, Aizawa Shouta, Ida Tenya, Class 1A, in those orders. Why the fuck is he playing Dota 2 at 8:26? Yep, that's all. It's rated Gen first, then M/M. It really should be M/M, then Gen, but alright. And then after Monochrome Situation comes Flower Petals at Noon, and then the Midnight Coffee House. But I'll explain those later down the road. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.